My most watched video is the one on disrespectful employees. So clearly a lot of you out there in my viewing audience have some challenging folks working for you. And here's the question that I did not get to in that first video, and that is why? Not why do you have, I'm not blaming this on you, but I'm thinking why does that employee seem to be behaving disrespectfully? What's going on that makes that employee behave in ways you view as disrespectful? My name is Grace Judson. I am a leadership geek. I am very dedicated to working with first-line managers to help them become the managers and leaders they want to be, their company needs them to be, and that maybe they wish they'd had so that things can get better at work, so that, bluntly, frankly, work doesn't suck. Because I think we should all be having more fun at work. So, here's the thing, and I'll warn you right now that you're probably not going to like what I'm about to say, but stick with me. That employee may not even realize that they're being disrespectful, and they may not be being intentionally disrespectful. Don't get me wrong, there are certainly cases where they absolutely do intend what they're doing, and I've coached clients through that situation, and I freely acknowledge that it's not hard and not fun. And I always suggest starting with a bit of detective work. Why? Why are they behaving that way? There's a question my clients love to hate. It's a question I ask them to ask themselves. Are you ready? Because you're going to love to hate it too. Here it is, and don't click away as soon as you hear it. Give me a chance to explain. Here's the question. Why would a reasonable person behave the way they are behaving? And here's the thing, if you don't understand where someone is coming from, you cannot manage them effectively, you can't coach them, and really you can't even honestly decide if they need to be put on a performance plan, or they need training or some kind of support, or they just aren't a fit for the role they're in or for the company itself. Or, yeah, they really are just flat out disrespectful. Because one thing I know for sure, a lot of performance problems, many of which can look like disrespectfulness, come about because the individual needs some sort of support that they're not getting. It could be that they don't have the skills they need to do what you're asking for, and so they appear to be ignoring you or procrastinating and getting snippy about it, when in fact they're afraid to speak up and ask for what they need. Or they might not have the resources they need or the time they need to get all the things done that you've asked them to do, so it becomes a prioritization problem. Or they may have family issues. They might be exhausted from caretaking a family member or other family crisis, and we all know that we get cranky and snappy when we're way too tired. Or one more situation, they may be having a problem with another team member or with someone from another department, but they don't want to come off as a tattletale or complainer and instead end up stressed out and, cranky and snippy. I can give you a personal example on this. Just this morning, I was having serious computer problems, and my husband asked me a question, and I kind of barked at him, and he was like, "What's that about?" I wasn't intending to be disrespectful, but I was allowing my frustration at my computer problems to come out in our interaction. So as you can see just from me riffing off a few ideas here, there are a lot of reasons why someone might appear to be being disrespectful, but in fact they're simply struggling in some way. Now, it can be going on for a long time, and some of these situations can be going on for a long time too. So it isn't, like my example of snapping at my husband this morning because I was having a specific problem that morning. That was just that time. But things can be going on for somebody for an extended period of time. All these other issues that, situations, examples that I've come up with here. They can be going on for a while and can be causing ongoing stress and therefore ongoing apparent disrespect. And I'm not saying that this excuses their behavior. I just want to be clear on that too. But again, understanding gives you some insight into what's going on. So given what you know about this person, and going back to that question, if from their perspective they were acting reasonably, why might that be? It's a hard question to ask yourself because by now you're frustrated and resentful from having to deal with their bad attitude. Like I said, not an excuse for how they're behaving, but insight into what you can do to help them stop behaving that way as their manager and leader. So in asking it, why might a reasonable person be behaving that way, and thinking about it, this gives you a chance to really consider what actually is going on. And then you can explore all that with the person. And that can help you reclaim them as a good employee, or at least give you the necessary insight for what's next to help them improve. Or if it comes to that, as it has with some of my clients, put them on that performance plan and ultimately let them go. So I hope that was helpful. I know this can be really tricky. If you have any questions, and if you look at the other video, you'll see that I consistently answer questions. So do please ask them in the comments. I always check back. And you should also look down below this in the video description, because I've left links to some resources that might offer some additional help. And if this was useful, please remember to subscribe and click the notifications bell so you'll be informed when I release new videos. I will admit I am not on a schedule with videos, so that notifications bell is really useful if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing. Take care and good luck with your challenging employees.